Hey guys, it's Mythology's Bot here. We're just going to go over Jainson-Solar as our rogue scoundrel veteran, our plasma gunner. We're going to break down his talents and his weapons. Just want to say hello and hi, how's everybody doing? Welcome travelers. Nice to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday and everybody's had a good weekend or whatever day of the week it is for you. So we're just going to start off in the meat grinder and the Psychanium to kind of go over a few of our weapons and our general kind of build and setup and just our technique of what we do. He's one of my favorite characters. I really do like playing this character, so let's wait for reload in. Okay. So obviously let's everybody populate. So let's go into the weapons. Okay, so we have the Power Falchion, the Aridin Mark 1. We have a couple different things on this one. For lack of a better word, take this with a grain of salt. The dump stat is mobility. You could crank that up to 100 if you want more move speed and mess around with the heat management and power output if you wanted to. I don't know how that would do. I kind of like the heat management the way it is and a few other things on there. And then we also have damage to maniacs and melee critical strike. And the reason why we have melee critical strike, you'll see here in a second, is we have energy leak, which increases the strength of 20%, scaled on heat. So if you do happen to not turn this thing off and it does overheat, it's still pretty deadly weapon. It's not as deadly as with the field on, but you know, you take what you can get. But the heat sink is the main one here, where weak spot kills and critical strike kills reduce heat by 10% over 3 seconds. So that's the reason why we have the critical strike on there. And the reason why I have maniacs is because I just don't like maniacs. They're just really deadly for a veteran. I don't like seeing them. They're mean. So that's the melee weapon color covered. There's plenty of other good weapons you can play around with. This is just the build for this character. So if there's something you like better, swap it in and out. You know, I just like that weapon. I like the flow of it. So we have the plasma gun here, the M35 Magnacore MK2. Not that there's another mark anyways, but you know, maybe it's something they'll make another mark eventually. Who knows? Like I said, lack of a better word, thermal resistance is a dump stat. That is kind of interesting. You could play with that ability if you wanted to and swap out like charge rate and thermal resistance to do like more of a one-shot cannon probably thing. I'm not really sure about that one. I've never tested it out. I'm very sure it's a possibility though. It could work. I don't know though. I've never tested it out. But we have flak and unyielding on those two. So essentially most of the targets we're going to hit are going to be either flak or unyielding big bosses, and it does go through carapace very well, so I don't really see a reason to boost the carapace damage, because it already does so much already. It usually about 2 to 3 shots, it'll take down just about anything. So we have gets hot on that one, so your critical hit chance scales with your current heat. That's the reason why the thermal resistance is low, so it builds that heat up faster and faster. And then on low charge speed on low overheat, so when it's got low overheat, it charges faster, so it shoots faster, essentially gets hot and gets hotter faster. And then we use that special ability, our 4 button, whatever you have it mapped to vent that heat. And I don't really ever charge that thing. I never really... You can aim click it on the right clicker to overcharge it, and that is good. It'll get it through like some walls and stuff or kill some things. But it also, if you overheat on that, you can kill yourself. I've seen it happen a few times. I've done it once or twice. It happens. I never gave anybody gruff about it. You know, it just happens. Let's move down to the Curios. Same thing with like most of our characters, unless you have a specific reason why. I think my Zealot has extra health. But anyways... he has all % toughness. These are not maxed out curios. I could easily get maxed out curios, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Combat ability regeneration, toughness regeneration, and then damage resistant gunners. Gunners are going to be one of your biggest point sinks. They're just going to rip through you if they see you, right? So same as this one. We have toughness, combat, toughness regeneration, and then revive speed because I like getting up people faster. It's very useful sometimes. And then the last one has stamina regeneration on it. Same with the other ones. It has the combat ability regeneration, toughness regeneration, and the stamina is just there so I can get speed back faster, right? Very useful things. Like I said, I could update these to get up to 17% toughness if I wanted to, because that's the max amount, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it. It takes a lot of muckery. So let's do the breakdown of the skill tree real quick. We start off here a little bit going to the left with exhilarating takedown. So you essentially, when you get weak spot kills, you get more toughness back, and it stacks 3 times. That's amazing. And it gives you toughness damage reduction, even better. And then replenish, confirm kill with replenish, toughness on elite or specialist. You're killing those anyways, and you're going to get more toughness back here in a little bit. Like, that's just what you do as a vet. You want to take out a lot of specialists and elites at range, usually. Long shot, you can hit targets pretty well with the plasma gun at range. It doesn't have any dip to the declination, so it's not affected by gravity anyway for some reason, but anyways, it will hit pretty much in a straight line all the time. So long shot you can nail if you got a little bit of finesse and like technique to actually hit heads from range. It's not, the farther the target is, the harder it gets away, right? It's not easy. Close order drill, so toughness damage reduction for everybody in coherency. Obviously, that's mandatory. And then in the middle here for our blitz, I choose crack grenades, but I think, honestly, I've seen some very skilled people with smoke grenades. Very skilled. Same with the shredder frag grenades. I just like crack grenades because it's going to kill the big targets I want to be gone. But there's no reason why you couldn't do either one of those. And I really do. When I see people take these, I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Looks like the dogs are barking at somebody upstairs. Some good to know. We have dogs. Then we come down to Iron Will. We go through all these little tiny nodes. You can probably switch that up if you wanted to go in different ways. You could probably do Superiority Complex or a few other ones. But I like Iron Will because it shields you for like one good hit, right? As long as your toughness is over a certain amount, and usually that's when you come right out of stealth. If you get hit right out of stealth, you're going to have a decent amount of toughness resistance. Field Improvisation. That just makes ammo crates and med packs better. It's really, really good. And then we have opening salvo. So I went through this a couple times trying to decide. I like the build the way it is. I think you could make a very good discussion for covert operative for range backstab damage. I just kind of like opening salvo. I don't really know why. Mainly because I think the plasma gun has a pretty big clip, and I don't tend to reload that one much, but when it does happen, it's very much needed, right? Catch a breath, so essentially when you haven't been a target of melee attacks for 5 seconds, replenish 5% toughness per second, so very good. And for the aura, I really like Survivalist. I think it's very good. I can see like either one of these fire team or close and kill, the movement speed or the damage being used for something. I really like this ability because I want to get more ammo back pretty much all the time. And if there isn't a vet in a group, I want everybody to get ammo back. That being said, go ahead and play with what those are. Like Rex had close and kill for a while, and I really enjoyed that extra movement speed. It really did make a difference. Then we're going to go down to Demolition Stockpile, so we replenish grenades every 60 seconds. That's just fun. Then we go over to Infiltrate over here, so you essentially stealth, and then you gain movement, refresh your toughness, and suppresses enemies when you leave, and then also you have 30% damage when you leave stealth for 5 seconds. Really good. And then Overwatch, so you essentially have an extra charge of that. You have 2 abilities to say, I'm out of this fight, I'm going to go somewhere else. Or 2 abilities to reload, or do up somebody from the ground. There's a lot of things you can do with it. Like I said, there's a lot of breath associated with this ability. But that's not to say that the rest of the voice command or executioner stance can't do the same thing too. I just like this ability for this build, right? Come down here to duck and dive, so essentially stamina on avoiding range attacks by dodging, sprinting, or sliding. That's just going to generate stamina constantly almost, because you're getting shot at like all the time, right? So that's just going to keep your stamina up to make you able to move and run and jump and all that kind of stuff, and do push blocks and yeah, pretty much everything. Then we come over here to the middle tree, No One Left Behind. I really like this talent because not only does it have like 1, 2. It has 3 things it's doing. You assist speed is up, revive speed is up, and then movement speed and stun immunity when moving towards a knockdown or incapacitated ally. That happens all the time, right? Especially with that infiltrate, because you can hit that ability and zork right over to people. I think you have like a 45% movement speed buff at that point. It's huge. Demolition team, just because I like to get more grenades. And I like to, because you're killing elites and specialists anyways. Hey buddy, how's it going? There's Atlas. You might see him in the back. Tactical awareness, because when you kill specialists, since we're just constantly stacking that specialist kill, you know, that helps. And it also helps refresh this infiltrate faster and faster, which is just amazing. Rending, whenever you can get it, always good. I would love to bring it down, but I just don't have enough points. Then we come all the way over to here left. We go to precision strikes, so weak spot damage, just because you're going to be aiming at heads anyways. Fully loaded, so plus 25% ammo, always good. Toughness damage reduction. Now I could see somebody going for keep their heads down, attack suppression, or you could do that one too. I just like toughness damage reduction. It's very good. Kill zone, so extra base damage. You could make probably an argument for lock and load depending on your weapon or what you like doing. I just like having extra base damage. And we come right down in the middle, so marksman's focus. And then ranged weak spot skills grants 3 stacks of focus. And then each focus gains finesse and weapon speed reload. So that's just great for that weapon, for the plasma gun. Once you get over 10 stacks, which can stack up very quickly if you're shooting in a horde of creatures, because that plasma gun goes straight through people, right? Can really go through multiple heads at once. That rending kicks in, so not only do you have 1 source of rending, you have 2. I don't know the mechanics on how that stacks, but it really does start to eat through things when it gets up high. Long range assassin, so you're just increasing your stacks to up to 15, and that also increases the ability for that rending not to go away, right? And then tunnel vision to replenish toughness and stamina when you get weak spot kills at the very end there. So we kind of start up in the middle, go a little bit over to the left, down, 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 over survivalist, down on infiltrate, go over here, grab a few nice abilities here in the middle, and then go all the way to the left tree and straight down, right? Pretty self-explanatory. I'm literally looking to just shoot people in the head from ranged and stealth. It's not too bad, but I'll show a few little techniques and things I've learned about the crack grenades and just in general the stealth profile and just shooting the weapon itself. So let's go over that real quick. So let's start off with the Falchion. Obviously, you can turn on the special attack. It goes through things a lot better. I really like the attack profile on this one. The swing, swing, and then stab. That is very good. I can really chain together well, right? See how that's... It creates almost a line of attack right there. And you can really hit weak spots with that one, and that makes that heating and cooling much, much better. Power attack's pretty much a downward slice, and then that one's a downward... The block push or guarded strike is a downward strike too. Very easy to hit heads, and that's the reason why I'm spec towards killing mutants too, because you can usually get a pretty good slice on the back of a mutant or a rager with that maniac damage, right? Let's go with the crack grenades. So these things are going to be attracted to the biggest source of metal. We'll see which one's bigger. I'm guessing it's going to be the one to the left. I'm just going to try to throw it right in the middle. Oh, well, good job. But it's going to go for straight the biggest piece of metal it can find, right? A shield, a gun, a helmet. Same with these guys. It's usually going to be attracted to the plasma gunners over those guys' helmets, the maulers. But like, you can see this. Hold on, we'll wait until that guy respawns. We'll throw it between those two, and I guarantee it's going to go straight over the plasma gunner. Yep. Oh! Sometimes I have trouble guessing it too, right? I don't really know. But it likes to go towards carapace. Usually the biggest piece of metal it can find, it will latch onto, right? And it doesn't really hit any of these guys over here. You can under toss it. So you can underhand toss it. And that really, if you get good at it, you can start to do some really crazy things with that. Like that. Or you can use it to put in a choke way. See how it instantly killed him. got them underneath the armor, essentially. Or you can use it to stagger things. I've used it to do that. I don't usually recommend doing that if you're not in like a dire situation, you need to do that. I don't like wasting them like that, but if you need an extra tool in your tool belt, that's the way I make that done. Is if I have a giant horde of creatures and I need this to go away and I need somebody to get away from my guy I'm rezzing, I'm going to throw grenades straight at the ground, right? Let's just get a last one out of the way because it's fun. So that was that. So we'll go over a little bit the stealth technique real quick. So obviously that's going to replenish this. One thing you can do is you can start that up, doesn't break stealth. You can shove, push block. You can fend off a whole wave of dogs if you do that push block during that. It doesn't break the stealth. But if you throw a grenade or shoot, you're going to break it. I think if you drop a med kit too, I believe it breaks. Let me see. No, it does not. So that's good to know. I don't know why I didn't know that, but let's just make sure we get that back a little faster. All the drugs. And then let's go over the plasma gun. So the one good thing about this thing is, like I said, it does go through ranks pretty easily. See how it just kind of went through. It almost killed that shotgunner in the back. But once you start going through multiple heads, it starts to build up that rending and gets abysmally strong. You can even kind of angle it a little bit sometimes, like this dog and this sniper. I'm pretty sure I'll go straight to the dog, right in the sniper. Yep. Same thing, it'll go probably right through him and straight into that mutie. That mutie's almost dead with that shot, right? And then we just vent that away. Just make sure that it does have like an auto lockout timer on it. So if you get up to that 100% and you're just firing these base shots, you're not going to overheat yourself. But see, it's going to vent for you. If you charge it up like that with the right click and make it go super one shot, which you can easily build it for, being like essentially a railgun. I don't have it built that way, but it could be done. You can kill yourself. I've seen it happen a couple times. It's not a very common occurrence. It does happen every once in a while. I don't give anybody grief over it because it's not something that happens a lot, right? So pretty much just aim at heads for Jainson-Solar, and then we stealth when we need to reload, because this will cover the whole thing. So you see that reload right there? I don't have to touch anything. And you're done. It covers your entire reload. That breath of ability, it lets you shove things. It can let you get people up. It can let you get out of dodge. Like you get full shields back, you know? It's a really good ability. Very solid. And the crack grenades are just really fun. But like I said, there's a lot of different ways you could build these. These builds I've tested a lot. I think they work very well. But, I mean, try the things out. If you don't like something I put on there, swap it out for something else. And have some fun with it. That's just experiment. I tell people that a lot. Like, when you're playing with things, see how it works out. Try it. I don't know. Maybe there's a build. It could work. Give it a try. And that's what Damnation's for me. It's just to test a lot of things. It's a testing ground, proving ground for me. But that's just kind of what I wanted to go over Jainson real quick and just kind of give a quick brief overview. I think he was the one that was winning the poll, but there was, I think, another person right behind him. I think it might have been Ly Smith or one of the other ones. I'm not sure, but that'll probably be next to my reel unless somebody bumps like Duddish or somebody up way up real quick. And see, there's a grenade back right there. So that's pretty much it. I hope everybody's had a good weekend. I wish for everybody to be happy and safe and stay warm out there. I mean, it's actually pretty warm here in Madison, but it was good talking to you, travelers. We'll talk to you later. You guys have a good one. See ya. Bye.